It's midweek. You're halfway through, but we don't coast. We don't wait on perfect. We get up, show up, and keep moving forward. It's Run the Riot Midweek Motivation. Let's go!
Hey there, my friends. Welcome to another Midweek Motivation from the Run the Riot podcast. So I'm coming to you Monday morning. We just had a weekend in Texas watching softball. I joke around and say we sat in the heat, we melted, and we yelled at 12 and 13-year-olds hitting the ball around the field. It was hot, man. It was hot. And we weren't even on the field. We were just sitting there just sweating in the sun. And that Texas heat's already kicked in, and it's starting to kick in here in Oklahoma. And you know, when you're out of town and I'm a guy, I like routine, man. And so we're out of town. I got to figure out how to get my run in. It's an unfamiliar place. And, get up in the morning, it's muggy in the morning, and I got to get the run in, and just get out there and just figure it out and just do it. And I was just thinking about all the things that we do. And, when especially in the heat, and today's the name of this midweek motivation is it's the fire that forms you. So I felt like I was sitting in fire this weekend, the fire that forms you. Before I even get into it, Kathy and the group at Runner's World, they brought back a race that I liked. I actually got my PR in the 50 mile from it. It's the Midnight Madness run in July. It's like July 4th weekend, and it starts at midnight or right before midnight because it's hot and Oklahoma's hot. And so she brought it back, and I'm like, yeah, of course I'm gonna run it. I had my PR on it. I'm definitely not in PR shape, but I'm gonna run it just to support them, to be there, be with the people. And then I don't know how it happened, but somebody had the bright idea of turning it into from a 50 miler that also adding the 100-mile option. And so it looks like I'm doing 100 miles, and it's very well could be triple digit heat during the day. We got to get the 50 miles during the day done, and then we join self-supported, and then we join in the 50 miles at night. Still questioning that decision, but it's the fire that forms us. And I want you to think about this. What if the very thing that you're trying to avoid, pain, discomfort, what if that's the doorway of creating a better you? Now, I'm not talking about suffering just for the sake of it. I'm talking about growth through discomfort. I want you to think about this. Pain isn't necessarily the problem. It's often the process. So let's just kind of unpack that a little bit as we're talking about racing, as we're talking about life. And sometimes we put ourselves in a situation to experience it and grow. And sometimes life puts us in that situation. So principle number one, think about this. Comfort doesn't create meaningful change. Now, if we're honest with each other, most of us live in pursuit of comfort. And I heard this quote, I've posted it before, but nothing meaningful ever came from the comfort zone. Whether it's a career, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a physical transformation or whatever, it starts where your comfort zone ends. And maybe you need to be reminded of that today. I know we're having a lot of significant weather issues. We're having like tornadoes and stuff like crazy around here in Oklahoma, but we're also just that the heat's cranking up. Things are getting kind of uncomfortable. In the last podcast interview I did with Sean Rowe, I hope you had a chance to listen to that, but he talks about how he was living the high life, man. He was just partying up, comfortable, having a good time, nightclubs, parties, all the indulgence, And it was when he experienced pain, he had like a mini stroke or something. That's where the change began. That health scare wasn't easy. It wasn't comfortable. It was painful, but it was a trigger. All right. That pain woke him up. And many of us, pain's the only thing that's going to wake us up. That's going to knock us out of our comfort zone and get us off our butts and get us to do something. When we look in nature, we look at a caterpillar, it enters its cocoon and it literally dissolves and loses its form. And it's only through that that messy, painful process that it can become a butterfly. There's no shortcut, no comfort. It's only total breakdown to get the breakthrough. And so many of us, man, we sometimes that thing that we are loathing, that breakdown in our lives, if we can just frame it right, if we can just push through it, then we get our breakthrough. It gets us out of that comfort zone. It gets us, it grows us through it. So that principle, that principle one is comfort. Does it create meaningful change? So principle two, think about this one. Our pain clarifies our priorities. Um, Dude, life hurts sometimes. Yeah, life hurts. But when life hurts, we see what really matters. Pain clears the clutter. It shows you your why. We talk about why when we're running, and that's when we're running. That pain, you have to have a good why, and it's a mirror. It's a mirror. In that last podcast with Sean, he realized he had a son that was watching what he was doing. He had a son that was looking at him as an example, and he had a mission to live for, and he gave up the drinking, the smoking, all that stuff, all the easy comforts, and he chose a life of discipline. He said it in the podcast, I've got a son to live for. And then he went on to say that running saved his life. And so that pain, those things, it clarifies what we need to focus on. When you're in pain, it's hard to focus on anything else. Um, a friend of mine years ago lost a job unexpectedly, and he was terrified, but it forced him to focus on what really mattered. It forced him to reconnect with his family, reprioritize his faith, and eventually started a business, and he had freedom and all these things. And but he said, losing my job gave me my life back. And through that pain, he discovered he focused on what was really important. And so pain, man, that discomfort focuses us. So pain doesn't just make you change, it makes you choose. I'm just reminded, and this is kind of off subject a little bit, but when you choose to do something, you're also choosing not to do something else. All right. When you choose one thing, you're choosing not all the others, because we live in time. And when I choose to spend my time with this, I'm choosing to deny all the other things because I'm focusing on this thing. And so that pain, man, it forces you to choose. So principle three that I want to talk about, it growth comes through resistance. I'm recording this on a Monday. You're going to get it on a Wednesday. But I was at the gym this morning, and everybody's just picking things up and putting them down, resistance, weightlifting, think of running hills, think of even fasting. It's all resistance. It's putting our body through something to make it stronger. And so pain is what strengthens the body, the mind, our character, all those things that we go through. And so, when you're pushing that last rep at a bench press and you're just everything you got, dude, that's not comfortable. It doesn't feel good. It feels good when you finally get it on the rack or somebody pulls it off of you. But it's what strengthens you. And so when we have things that resist us in life and things that come against us, I think we need to embrace it, but we need to see it as an opportunity to grow and to become stronger. Um, yeah, we need to do that. And so we need to not run away from the pain, but run through it. And that's not easy. It's not easy to make that decision and do it. But man, that's what we've got to do it. Every gym goer knows, every guy who gets to the gym, no resistance, no muscle. Growth is a response to stress. If we all had perfectly easy lives where nothing came against us, you know what? We would be shallow people with no depth, no substance. You talk to somebody who's been through some stuff, they got some wisdom. You can tell there's some depth there. Even in relationships, man, a marriage that's never tested, it's going to stay shallow. One that's been through hardships, that one becomes unbreakable, you know? And so resistance isn't the problem. It's the path to resilience. All right. Uh, Principle four, purpose, purpose makes the pain worth it. When you're anchored to a purpose, you'll endure more than you ever thought possible. And this kind of goes back to your why. That purpose fuels your endurance and sustains your momentum and gives you meaning. It gives meaning to the suffering, and you guys who've been listening for a while know me enough to know that my overall purpose over everything is my faith, and living for God and pleasing Him and just being on mission for Him. That's my ultimate why. But below that, I've got plenty of other things that fall underneath that umbrella, and so even something like giving to certain charities and running in remembrance of somebody. Sean Rowe, he's running for the Wounded Warrior Project. His pain is it has a mission, and when he runs that 100 miles that he's training for, he's doing it to help those who sacrifice far more. And so the why makes the hard worth it. And so think of a mom in labor, dude. She's not chasing pain. She's chasing life, but the pain is real, but it's connected to a purpose. And that's what gives it meaning. So think about this. Pain for no reason will break you, but pain with a purpose builds you. And so when life comes against you, man, sometimes we got to remember that. They're like, okay, I don't know why this is happening to me. I don't know why I'm going through this right now, but I do know I can either get bitter or get better. I can let this break me down, or I can say, okay, as a man of faith, I'll say, all right, God's allowing this to come against me to build me up, that I can go through this and come out stronger. And so, we've got to realize that, because otherwise we'll just let it break us down. And so, I want you to think about your life right now. Think about your life. Think about your week, last week. You're in the middle of a week here with what's going on so far, what's going to be happening. Um, where are you playing it safe? Where are you chasing comfort too much? What pain are you avoiding that might actually lead you to your next breakthrough? Um, Sean talked about at mile 28 when he was running 30, how it just got so bad and it hurt. So he just ran faster for his last 2 miles. He just pushed through. Well, what's your mile 28, man? What do you do when it gets real? Do you keep pushing through and push harder and just like, I'm going to get this done? Or do you let it, stop you or fall apart? And so I want you to do this. I want you to don't fear the pain. Lean into it. Now, listen, I'm not saying like if you're injured, just go and destroy yourself. But I'm just talking about that uncomfortable, because it gets uncomfortable, right? It's not that you're injured. It gets hard. It hurts, let it build you into the person your purpose demands. You've heard me say this before, guys. When I sign up for a race, I am not the dude that can run that race, but I build myself into the man that can run that race. So, man, let your purpose build you into the person that purpose demands. And so think about that, guys. Pain is not the enemy; it's the invitation. Don't just endure it; embrace it, because pain is the pathway to purpose. Sean Rowe said it in that podcast. He said, "Preparation produces progress. The rest is God and grit." Man, that's what I got for you today, guys. Um, I just want you to be thinking about those things. Stay focused, man. Our sport is so much of it is mental. And sometimes we got to frame it, man. When we're out on those long runs and it's hot and we're tired and we need to push through, man, we've got to frame it, man. We got to recognize that tough mile is building me into the person that can achieve the goal that I set up for, whether it's a race, whether it's just life. We got to learn to push through, and we got to let that pain build us. We got to let that fire form us. All right. Pain, the fire that forms you. Let it form you, guys. I hope you're being blessed. I hope you're pushing through. And I hope next time on that hot run, you'll think about this and don't cuss me, man. Just push through that pain and go with it. God bless, guys. Bye-bye.